What is up, everybody? Love you guys. Check this out. Look, so often as a leader, when I first started out leading and rising up into management, I got to those places being very aggressive. I got to those places being very grouchy and pushing really hard. And I thought that's kind of what it was going to take to continue moving forward in leadership and progressing in my career. And in a lot of ways that was right, but where it was wrong is in how I dealt with people on a daily basis. So often, whether we're leaders promoting someone else because they're good at what they do and we want them to go to the next stage, or if we ourselves are good at what we do, we're a foreman, we're a manager, we're a superintendent, whatever this case may be, and we're trying to rise up to that a whole new level, we forget to teach the human element to that person so that they can deal with people on a whole new level. And the problem that I had was I was a yeller. That's right. Not old Yeller. They put him down. Okay. He had the hyperphobia. No, but I was a yeller. I was somebody that would get frustrated and get mad. What I didn't realize is that yelling was so much bigger than what I thought. And I continued to yell throughout my career, but in different ways. Like, I may not be like, "You idiot, you blankety blank, how dare you, what are you doing, are you dumb?" Instead of saying things like that, it was in different ways. So let's just look at that. If you're a yeller, first and foremost, when we yell, we're out of control of our own voice. A lot of times our emotions are so in it. Our emotions are so in it in that moment that we begin to yell. A lot of the times we find as parents, we're yelling, but really if we look at the root of why we're yelling about something, we're afraid our kid's going to do something bad, okay? Or we're afraid that whatever behavior that they're having now is going to progress and get worse. And truly it's because we love them. We want to be responsible adults, but at the same time, when we feel like things are out of control, we start to project our voice. No different than a dog. When a dog feels like they're out of control, the first thing they do is a little, the ears go back, right? They show their teeth, they start to bark, and they really begin to carry on, growl and bark and make a racket. Well, a lot of the times it's because that animal feels pressed and afraid. We are no different. And so, like I said, I started my career out that way. I was yelling about everything because I was feeling the pressures of management. So when we talk about, you gotta stop yelling, we got to start looking at what's the root cause of the yelling. And a lot of the times when we're growing up in life, the root cause of that yelling can be the fact that when we were little, we weren't allowed to express ourselves, or we were pretty much told your opinion doesn't matter. I hate the term children, or the saying, children should be seen and not heard. No, children should be heard and seen. Children should be able to be loud. Children should be able to be boisterous. Children should be able to share their opinions about things and learn how to communicate and grow. And I'm telling you, a lot of grown-ups that were children when they were young, of course they were children when they were young, but when they were children, weren't allowed to express themselves. So when they become adults, they start yelling. Guys, this is one of the lowest forms of getting your point across. If you're 50 and 60 and 70 and 80 years old and you're still in the yelling process, you're still in that talking down to people process, you've never progressed against the very first stage of communication as a leader. And if you are alive, you're a leader because you're leading your own life. The decisions that you're making every day, you're leading your own life. So I ask, are you yelling to yourself? What is this like? What is that internal narrative like for you? Is it loud? Is it boisterous? Is it you piece of garbage every time you fail? Or is it something that's a little bit more beautiful? Fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, if you want to progress as a leader, your people got to know that you are consistent. They've got to know that you're solid. They've got to know that you are steady. And they're never going to get that vibe from you if you're constantly yelling at them or putting them down. In my opinion, putting people down constantly is another form of ignorance and yelling. A lot of times we think it's funny. We used to call people a bit, "Hey, bitch. Good morning, bitch." We would say things like that in the field. "Hey, dumbass." We would say things like that in the field. But when you grow as a leader and you start to continue to grow, what you got to realize is they've heard those things all their life, and you're just confirming things that other people have told them. So instead of calling them names, start lifting them up. Start pointing out the things that they do great instead of constantly telling them about all the things they do wrong. Look, I'm encouraging you today to grow as a leader and take the responsibility to move forward and stop the yelling. Stop the yelling, guys. Stop the yelling. Stop the demeaning talk and start to figure out ways to lift up your people. This is a part of a system we call at Bowman Legacies verbal counterstriking. And even though you're angry, it does not mean you need to project anger, because I'm telling you, even a silent man is deemed wise if he's a fool. I screwed that up. Let me do it again. Even a fool is deemed wise if he's silent. Okay? Even a fool, if he's deemed wise, is silent. What does that mean? That means that the quiet person is always deemed wise. People feel comfortable around someone who feels comfortable in their own skin and in their own position. True leaders don't yell. True leaders who really want to progress and influence others, lift others up, and they don't tear them down. So ask yourself, do you measure up to that? Ask yourself, do you measure up to that? Look, and if you want more, we've got so much more on our website, and we want to guide you to more on our website, and we want to guide you to more of what not to be as a leader. And that's learning half the battle, right? Half the battle is knowing what not to do.